Gehlot finally out of the race. He's no more going to be in the running there for Congress president's polls. He's withdrawn himself, saying that he is embarrassed, apologizes to Sonia Gandhi, says he's now going to focus on the people of Rajasthan and the state, maybe to win elections in the coming election. What's your take on this?
Well, the fact, Nabila, is that not only has he said that he's not in the race for Congress president, but he has effectively left any decision on his future in the light of what happened a couple of days ago to the Congress president. So Sonia Gandhi has to now decide on Ashok Gehlot's future. I don't think that that Sonia Gandhi will immediately ask Ashok Gehlot in any way to step down as Rajasthan Chief Minister. That seems unlikely. Because they do not want to open up another front, another crisis, given the fact that Mr. Gehlot still commands the support of a sizable section of MLAs. But post-Diwali, we are told that even that question could be opened up once the Congress president election is decided. So first, the Congress president election to be decided, where Digvijaya Singh has already indicated that he is going to file nominations tomorrow. Shashi Tharoor is likely to file. That process will go on for the next 2.5 weeks. Around the 19th of October, we'll know who the new Congress president is. Post that, post Diwali, there is a possibility that we could see a change in guard in Rajasthan as well ahead of next year's election. So Mr. Gehlot clearly seems to have overplayed his hand in his insistence that he would not accept Sachin Pilot in the manner in which his supporters boycotted the Congress Legislature Party meeting, refused to pass a one-line resolution calling Sonia Gandhi to decide who would be the next Rajasthan Chief Minister. So Mr. Gehlot, in a way, appears to have been pushed on the back foot by the refusal of the High Command to accept his demands as they saw it, and thereby there is a question mark now over the future of Mr. Gehlot that will be resolved, I believe, in the next couple of months.
Right. You know, at this point, Rajdeep, there was a lot of talk that Gandhis may just forgive Gehlot and probably push him to contest the Congress president polls, considering that he's possibly the one man who they rest their affection towards. At least the most loyal to the Gandhi family is what Gehlot is viewed as. Now, at this point, when he's pulling out of the race, is there anyone who matches Gehlot's stature and closeness with the Gandhi family?
Well, clearly the plan A, Nabila, was for Ashok Gehlot to become Congress president, move to Delhi, and Jaipur was going to be where Sachin Pilot would move, because apparently the Gandhis had given some kind of an assurance to Mr. Pilot that he would eventually, before the 2023 Rajasthan elections, be made Chief Minister. On your question as to now what is the plan B, now that plan A has not worked, Ashok Gehlot effectively withdrawing himself from the Congress president race, which I can tell you he was reluctant to contest. He was being pushed into it. The plan B as of now would seem to be Digvijaya Singh, who is the only candidate who's filed his nomination. Will there be another candidate in the next 24 hours? Remember, the nomination process closes tomorrow. Shashi Tharoor is going to file 11 a.m. tomorrow. Digvijaya Singh will file sometime tomorrow. We don't know, and there is the possibility is not being ruled out of a third candidate also emerging in this fight for Congress president. So clearly, the Congress leadership at the moment doesn't have a ready alternative to Mr. Gehlot, but Digvijaya Singh is someone who's organizing the Bharat Jodo Yatra, is a two-time Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister, is someone whom has managed to once again win back the favor of Rahul Gandhi in particular. So the possibility exists that Digvijaya Singh, if no other candidate emerges in the next 24 hours apart from Mr. Tharoor, would be the front runner to become the next Congress president.
All right. You know, Rajdeep, a quick word. This whole fight between Sachin Pilot and Gehlot, it's really reflected badly on the Congress party in Rajasthan. Quite a shame there. It's brought to the party high command. But what Gehlot says that what he did or what his MLAs did is hardly a mistake when in compared to what Sachin Pilot had done in 2020. No action was taken against Pilot then, and why action against us now? That's more or less the tone with which Gehlot entered Sonia Gandhi's residence today.
You know, I think that is an important point, Nabila, because the fact is that Ashok Gehlot is extremely bitter about what he believes was Sachin Pilot's attempt to bring down his government in August of 2020. And therefore, he claims he has simply not forgiven Sachin Pilot, nor have his MLAs. So therefore, there is a sense within the Gehlot camp that the High Command has been partial, excuse Sachin Pilot for what they believe was a far graver misdemeanor, and they are unwilling to accept Mr. Pilot from what one gathers as Chief Minister of Rajasthan. So that tricky question remains. Can the High Command force Sachin Pilot down the Rajasthan Congress Legislature Party is extremely uncertain. Much depends on how Mr. Gehlot now responds in the next few weeks. Is he someone who's going to quit the Chief Minister's post for Sachin Pilot? Unlikely. Could he quit for a third consensus candidate? Possible. Could he just dig his heels in and refuse to quit Rajasthan, where he remains the party's premier leader? Possible. So I think, as I said, two stages. First, the Congress leadership will intend to solve the problems that have emerged in the Congress presidential race. But post-Diwali, I think you will see some movement in Rajasthan towards ensuring that the Congress party, ahead of next year's elections, where they clearly are on the back foot versus the BJP, do they go along with Mr. Gehlot as tried and trusted, or do they find a fresh candidate ahead of those elections? I think that question will be resolved sometime immediately after Diwali.
So then, in that case, what really happens to the future of Sachin Pilot, Rajdeep? Sachin Pilot is also in Delhi right now. He was hoping that maybe after this meeting, possibly Gehlot will be allowed to contest Congress president's polls and then make way for him as the chief minister. Now, it seems like all his hopes have crashed at this point, Sachin Pilot and his future.
Well, not really as yet, Nabila, because we are told that Sachin Pilot is going to meet Sonia Gandhi later today. There are two options available. Either Mrs. Gandhi, as I said, virtually directs her aides to force the Rajasthan Congress MLAs to accept Sachin Pilot, or Sachin Pilot, as is now being suggested, could be moved to Delhi in some kind of a post of a general secretary in charge of specific states. You're right that we are, just as we are uncertain about what happens to Mr. Gehlot next, there is uncertainty over what happens to Mr. Pilot next. I think the meeting where Mr. Pilot will have with Sonia Gandhi could well settle that. But we don't expect an immediate change in guard in Rajasthan while the Congress is going through this presidential process. Because remember, the Congress doesn't have a big majority in Rajasthan. They do not want to lose in any way one of the only two governments that they have. So they will have to handle Mr. Gehlot and his supporters with care. Does that mean that Sachin Pilot could be still kept waiting for a while longer? Possible. So I think we'll have to wait and see what happens post-Diwali. But I do expect over the next 4 weeks the status quo to be maintained in Rajasthan before a decision is taken on next moves.
All right. Just as Gehlot got out, as soon as he started his talk with the media, he says, "I apologize unconditionally." Well, there's no taking that away. That this was shameful and this has brought embarrassment to the party high command. But I wasn't aware of this. You know, he feigns ignorance right from the start. He's been claiming that he wasn't even aware his MLAs wanted to tender their resignation and they wanted to, you know, almost quit the party if he gave up his post to Sachin Pilot. Is this believable, Rajdeep? Could we really take Ashok Gehlot face value, knowing how, what a shrewd politician he is?
You know, Nabila, I asked this question to someone close to Mr. Gehlot this morning who was insistent that Mr. Gehlot had no control over his MLAs. I said, do you really expect us to believe that? Someone of whom it is said, when he's Chief Minister, patta nahi hilta, leaf doesn't move in Jaipur politically without Mr. Gehlot knowing. Are you seriously telling me that Shanti, Dhariwal, Mahesh, Joshi organized a parallel meeting, unofficial legislature party meeting without any knowledge of Mr. Gehlot? It seems almost impossible to believe that Mr. Gehlot could not have forced the MLAs to come to his house and hold that legislature party meeting. And I don't think either Sonia Gandhi accepts that, nor do any of the Congress leaders in Delhi accept the version of Ashok Gehlot. So I think while he may say that he had no control over the MLAs, it wasn't his fault, he's apologetic about it, I think that generally the Congress leadership believes that this was Mr. Gehlot drawing a line in the sand, saying, look, I am willing to move to Delhi if I am forced to do so, but I will not accept Sachin Pilot in Jaipur. And while he could not say that officially, he got his MLAs to say that. So I think this was part of a conscious political strategy. Although Mr. Gehlot and his supporters are denying the role of the Chief Minister, it's just difficult to believe that someone like Mr. Gehlot, who has such deep connections in Rajasthan, would have given up so easily, or could not have forced the MLAs to come to his house and fall in line. So I think, we will have to take that with a bucket full of salt when the Gehlot camp says that the Chief Minister had nothing to do with the events of Sunday.
So in that case, what do you suspect that Gehlot was doing? Was he trying to play smart and keep his feet in two boats? He was trying to stay put as the Chief Minister of Rajasthan and at the same time contest for Congress presidential polls. And only if he won the post as Congress President will he give up his Chief Minister's chair. So he didn't want this uncertainty to prevail, neither ka udhar, so therefore he held on to the CM's post. Was that greed then?
No, I think, as I said earlier, I don't think Ashok Gehlot was actually very keen to contest the Congress President's post. Ashok Gehlot is not in that sense someone hankering for this post of Congress President. He's much happier being Rajasthan Chief Minister. That's his comfort zone. He's been a 3-time Rajasthan Chief Minister, barring of course spells when he's been a Member of Parliament and General Secretary. His comfort zone lies in Rajasthan. He was being pushed into this role because frankly the Congress has few options. Once Rahul Gandhi insisted on saying that I will not take this post of Congress President again, the Congress had a visible lack of options. That's why, Nabila, for the last 2 years, you've seen this situation where Sonia Gandhi is the interim Congress President. Rahul Gandhi is a kind of non-playing captain. He's a captain but doesn't have the post. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is not seen to be experienced enough to take up the Congress President's post. No one wanted it. It almost seemed, and the second line of leadership in the Congress outside the Gandhis were cancelling each other out. None of them wanted the other to become. So enter Ashok Gehlot as one of only 2 Congress Chief Ministers, someone with a track record in organization. He's been General Secretary organization, someone who can get resources, someone who's an OBC from North India. All of this went in his favor. But the fact is, Ashok Gehlot himself did not really hanker or want the job. He actually wants to continue as Rajasthan Chief Minister, or even if he has to step down, no Sachin Pilot is what was the chorus within his camp. So I think for Ashok Gehlot, it was, I think the Sunday's events was something where I think he knew at the end of the day he couldn't get his cake and eat it too. I don't think he ever, I think he must have realized that this would be seen as rebellion, but he prefers to be in Rajasthan rather than move to Delhi.
All right, Rajdeep, stay with us. We also have Preeti Chaudhary, who's been tracking those developments in Rajasthan. She was in Jaipur. Preeti, do give us an understanding. Ashok Gehlot finally arrives into Delhi, meets with Sonia Gandhi, apologizes profusely, saying, I did not anticipate this kind of rebellion, and now it's happened. I apologize. I withdraw myself from the race to the Congress President's polls. Now, Gehlot has stepped back. What Rajdeep says that he was never keen on contesting the polls in the first place. Would you agree with that?
You know, I think we'll bring in Rajdeep as well into this conversation. Rajdeep, it's the optics of it all. I apologize is the first thing that Ashok Gehlot says. He goes on to say a one-line resolution is our tradition. Unfortunately, a situation arose. I am opting out of the presidential race. But the fact is, Rajdeep, is it Ashok Gehlot opting out, or was he given no option clearly? This seems to be, at least optics-wise, even if the High Command is weakened, it is the High Command clearly showing its grit, showing maybe Ashok Gehlot his place ultimately, even though he's a strong regional satrap.
You know, Preeti, we will really know exactly what happens to Ashok Gehlot in the next few weeks, and that will decide just how far the High Command can go to rein in a strong regional satrap. Does Ashok Gehlot now continue as Rajasthan Chief Minister? The sense I got, Preeti, is that for Ashok Gehlot, being Congress President was not a priority. This may seem at odds with those who believe that this is such a powerful post, it will give him a national image. Ashok Gehlot's comfort zone is in Rajasthan. And if you gave Ashok Gehlot the choice between Congress President and Sachin Pilot as Rajasthan Chief Minister, I think he would choose not being Congress President but preventing Sachin Pilot from being Rajasthan Chief Minister. So deep is the animosity between the two. Now, whether Sonia Gandhi eventually told him nothing doing, you've gone out of line, and therefore, you lose both the jobs. You won't be Congress President, you won't be Rajasthan Chief Minister. We'll know in the next couple of weeks. Until then, we don't know who's forced whose hand. Has Ashok Gehlot forced Sonia Gandhi's hand to deny him now the option of becoming Congress President, or has Gehlot created a situation where he is someone who is much more comfortable in Rajasthan than being in Delhi? Who said no? What actually happened behind those closed doors of 10 Janpath? We do not know as yet, Preeti.
Well, only right now what we're given to understand is K.C. Venugopal, Sonia Gandhi and Mukul Vasnikno, who were there in that meeting. But Rajdeep, with what Ashok Gehlot has said, at least if you look at it purely optics-wise, him coming out first apologizing for what went down, then saying he rules himself out of the presidential race, then saying that the one-line resolution has been the tradition of the Congress and he was sorry that it could not happen. Just purely of the kind of messaging that will go down to his MLAs, which till now, till very recently, were publicly muscle flexing, showing Sachin Gehlot and the camp its place. Do you think there will be a certain amount of, they would be disconcerted by what has gone down today?
I think that's a very good question, Preeti, and I think that's exactly what over the next couple of weeks we will unfold. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but once they know that Ashok Gehlot is no longer Congress President, once they know that he's possibly been admonished by the Congress High Command, that the High Command has in a way reined in Ashok Gehlot, then it's possible that a large number of fence-sitter MLAs, who could be at least 40, 50 out of the 100-odd Congress MLAs, could well, go along with exactly what the High Command wants. Now, whether that's Sachin Pilot or whether that's a third candidate, as often happens in the Congress when you have two candidates battling each other, we don't know. But it is certainly more and more likely that once Mr. Gehlot is out of this Congress President race, his position as Rajasthan Chief Minister becomes vulnerable if the Congress High Command decides to make their displeasure public. Remember, for now they've spoken through the likes of Ajay Makan, but it is possible that in the days ahead we'll have more voices coming out and saying Ashok Gehlot crossed a certain Lakshman Rekha. You may have those voices in Jaipur and Delhi. That doesn't necessarily mean Sachin Pilot will become the Chief Minister, but it is possible that Mr. Gehlot could end up losing both jobs post-Diwali.
But, is that even a possibility right now, Rajdeep? Because where optics are concerned, isn't this enough and just about where the Congress High Command is concerned? Where till yesterday he said he was keen on fighting elections, he said that publicly. Now he's gone ahead with that meeting, come out, apologized, ruled himself out. Is this public punishment or whatever limited sense of it is enough? Because Rajasthan is 1 year away from elections. Understandably, right now with what we see, the majority of MLAs lie with Ashok Gehlot. Will the Congress High Command actually rock the boat to just make a point on the superiority or, what is the proverbial High Command here? Do you think they'll just let him go and lead Congress to elections?
I don't think, Preeti, at the moment the Congress High Command can afford to completely isolate and antagonize Ashok Gehlot. I don't think that's going to happen in a hurry. But as I said, post-Diwali, once the new president is in place in Delhi, in the next couple of months, it is possible that Rajasthan could see some churning. The elections are October, November next year. So we've got a year before that. It is possible that what the Congress will now do is buy time. Each side now has made its point. Mr. Gehlot made its point on Sunday by drawing a Lakshman Rekha as to what is acceptable and what is not. I think the Congress leadership today has also drawn a line, saying if you are going to defy us in the manner that you did, then we also do not want you here as Congress President. So both sides, Preeti, I think have made their points. And now that the points have been made, I think there will be an effort to buy time, allow the process of Congress President to be complete, And then a month, 2, 3 months down the line, when the dust has settled, I think that decision will have to be taken. Whether Ashok Gehlot leads the Congress into the 2023 election, or the Congress goes in with a new face, whoever that be. I don't think that that decision has been settled as yet. And while you're right that Ashok Gehlot commands the support of the majority of the MLAs, those MLAs, as you earlier said, could well switch sides once they know that the High Command no longer has confidence in Mr. Gehlot. But I don't think that's going to happen right away. For now, I think Mr. Gehlot will be allowed to go back to Rajasthan as Chief Minister.